Epix Gen 2. It's a smaller box than I anticipated. I had imagined it'd still be the big square box. So they're cutting down on some packaging, which is nice to see. Open it up. There it is in all its glory. Type-C to proprietary cable. Instructions, user guide. Has a beautiful looking watch. I myself am coming from a Garmin Fenix 5X. With a no-to band off of eBay or off of Amazon. So, see the size difference here? 51 millimeter, 47 millimeter. Certainly feels a lot lighter. Starting it up. A little thinner. And then of course you can see on the back the different heart sensor and all the different sensors in there. Startup screen is cool. So my idea is I have upgrade-itis. So I switch between watches probably once a year, going from Samsungs. I've done the Apple iWatch. I've done Garmin a couple of times. This one was just a really cool story. There was a gentleman who was transferring to Australia, needed to sell all of his stuff in his house as quickly as possible. So he threw this up on Facebook for 50 bucks. So I was able to get a Fenix 5X for 50 bucks. Worked great until we work in a restaurant, and so I ended up getting some cracking in this plastic protector on the back. Just replaced that. That was 30 bucks and a pretty easy swap out. So yeah, but then the Epix dropped with the new Fenix, and so I figured I would go with the Epix because I wanted an OLED screen. So yeah, that's certainly something I miss when I have my Samsung. I definitely don't, I enjoy using the Samsung devices. I think they're light. I think they're stylish and sleek. The only downfall, of course, is the battery. I'm not a huge fan of the battery life on those. Typically, you get 24 to 36 hours. It was a Galaxy Watch 4, so it didn't have the quick charge option that the Galaxy 5 has, and obviously the Galaxy 6 will have as well. So coming here, I enjoy the battery life. I was thinking of sticking with the Galaxy when the 6 came out, but I'm bought into the ecosystem that Garmin uses. It's very informative, but it's also really easy to understand the metrics that you see on your watch screen, on the Garmin Connect app. So it's very user friendly, which is something that I like. And it's listed in ways that it's not too overwhelming. Like, it's a lot of information that these watches capture, which again just baffles me why something like a Galaxy Watch or even any kind of Wear OS or even Apple, why they suffer on the battery side when these scope out every type of metric you can imagine, whether you're sleeping, whether you're awake, whether you're taking a nap, whether you're resting, whether you're working out. It captures all of that information for you. And everything that you need is already pretty much baked into the software that the watch uses. So, Apple and obviously Wear OS, there's outside apps that you need to utilize and that are always sleeping in the background that you may not ever use, that are completely separate and typically not built into the OS. So you've got additional apps just constantly running in the background, and that's just my hypothesis why their battery life just stinks, because it's not the screen. It can't be the screen, because this still gets 7 days of battery life, maybe even 9. And then the 51 millimeter, of course, gets better battery life, because they've got a bigger battery in there. But so coming to the Epix, I liked the idea of the little flashlight. I'm going to use it for running in the mornings, so I'm visible. I did try some running gloves that had lights built into them, but they ended up chafing my fingers a little bit, which is kind of irritating and annoying. Is it worth $1,000 to get a flashlight? No. But again, I suffer from upgrade-itis. But the goal with this watch is I want this to be a 5-year watch. Don't want to upgrade for another 5 years, which is why I ended up going with a watch that's got that new heart sensor. That way, any updates that they push on Garmin, any operating system updates, any software updates, firmware updates, and all of that stuff. I don't know how long Garmin is typically committed to software updates and firmware updates. I know that they're outside of the smartwatch industry, so they don't really have to, abide by any kind of smartwatch or smartphone industry standards. But, I bought a Venue to try out, and that device is like 3 or 4 years old. And when I opened up the box, there were already like 5 updates that needed to happen. So it was very cool to see that Garmin still actively updates their programs. So, again, I want this to be a 5-year watch. I'm going to just live with it, wear it, and, I'm getting a Motorola Razr Plus. I'm going to be doing videos on that as well, and posting those as well. So I'll be doing quick reviews of this alongside of my Razr. So I'm hoping this will last me for the long haul. Again, it's my 5-year plan to hold on to this watch before I have any intention of upgrading, which is going to be a struggle because, again, I upgrade like every year. But not this time. This time I'm standing firm, and I'm only sticking to 5 years. So if you see my videos around and you appreciate them, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you very much.